I gotta give this movie props. This is the first time I've ever seen a film capitalizing on the urban legend of black-eyed kids.
Who's out there?
Please, will you open the door?
They Come Knocking is directed by Adam Mason, the same director of I'm Just Fucking With You. It stars Clayne Crawford, Josephine Langford, and Leah McHugh, and it tells the story of a grieving father and his two daughters who go on a desert road trip to scatter the ashes of the recently deceased mother, only to be set upon by a group of black-eyed kids. I had high hopes once I realized that not only was this film about the urban legend of black-eyed children, but it was also scored by Jimmy LaValle, who did the score for Spring and the Endless, two films with some of the best scores I've ever heard. And then the film started, and yeah, pretty mixed bag here. The good things it has going for it are really good, but there's a good amount of bad here too. As far as the good goes, this movie has tone for days. The isolated setting of the desert really adds to the tension since there's nobody around for miles, and it makes this family feel a lot more vulnerable. It balances itself pretty well between tense horror and genuine emotion and tragedy, and it uses that to illustrate its themes about grief and letting go pretty well. The sad scenes are genuinely sad thanks to LaValle's incredible talent of conveying emotion through his music. And the creepy scenes are extra creepy due to the fact that the film's monsters look like this. There's something so uncanny about the kids' appearances in this movie, and it does such a good job at truly conveying how unnatural they're described in all the stories. Their faces almost look like they're made of wax or rubber, and it's really dipping into the uncanny valley, so props for that, Adam Mason. Unfortunately, that's kind of where the positives for this film end, and the movie outside of that is kind of a mess. The acting is pretty atrocious. Clayne Crawford has the emotional range of Owen Wilson and speaks almost entirely in exposition. There is a fucking lawnmower outside my window right now, and I'm not happy about it. The elder daughter is one of the most unlikable characters I've ever seen in a movie like this. She is so one-note and angsty to an almost insufferable degree. The only character of note here is Leah McHugh as Maggie, or as her sister calls her, Maggot. Charming, isn't it? Leah McHugh does a really good job here and is honestly one of the best child actors I've seen in recent years, especially when it comes to any scene involving her crying. But even her performance in this was something that I felt was lacking compared to something like her performance in The Lodge. The film's internal logic is also kinda wonky. Characters make a lot of dumb, irrational decisions, which usually doesn't bother me in a film like this because humans are irrational creatures that act irrationally in the face of things they don't understand. But it bugged me because you have this family tormented by a supernatural entity that has proven itself time and again to be able to mimic real people perfectly. But these characters are still running off into the dark after every familiar voice they hear. It's frustrating because there were things about this movie that I really enjoyed, but there were so many logical issues that just totally took me out of the movie and broke my immersion. And much like all the other Into the Dark movies, that comes down to the script. They Come Knocking isn't the worst thing ever, but it's also not particularly good, and it doesn't offer anything of value outside of the unique usage of black-eyed children. It doesn't give you anything to remember after it ends aside from those creepy-ass faces. I'm gonna say that They Come Knocking is meh. If you want an okay turn-your-brain-off movie that'll offer some decent creepy imagery but ultimately be unmemorable, this might be good for a one-time watch. I can't not recommend it, but also I wouldn't say to go out of your way to check it out. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, click down there, like, comment, subscribe. There's a Patreon link down in the description if you want to be like any of these cool people right here. I would really appreciate it. There's all sorts of cool new reward tiers, anything from access to my private Discord server, to access to special videos early, to gifts sent right to your door once a month. If any of that interests you, please consider donating. I would really appreciate it, and even $1 would help. But even if you don't, thank you so much for watching anyway, and I will see you all very soon.